My wife saw my search history and thought I was cheating. My wife saw my search history at 2:13 in the morning, and judging by the look on her face, she was convinced she'd just discovered I was cheating. We've been married for 6 years. I'm not exactly secretive with my phone, so when she suddenly asked, "Who is Sarah?" I had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. Then she showed me my laptop, my search history. There were dozens of searches that looked horrible without context. Best flowers for apology. How long does a bruise take to heal? What to say when someone feels ugly? How to tell if your wife is overwhelmed? And then the one that really got her. How to make someone feel loved without making it obvious. She looked at me and said, "So, who is she?" I just stared at the screen, because the truth was so ridiculous I didn't even know how to explain it. There was no Sarah. There was no other woman. Every single search was about her. A few months earlier, I'd realized something. My wife had slowly stopped asking for things. She'd stopped buying clothes for herself, stopped going out with friends. Whenever I asked what was wrong, she'd say, "I'm fine," but she wasn't. So I started researching, not because I wanted to fix her. I just wanted to understand her better. One night, I'd searched how to tell if someone is emotionally exhausted. Another day, easy meals for someone working long shifts. Then, how to compliment your wife without making it sound fake. I even searched what flowers mean thank you instead of romance, because she'd mentioned once that roses felt too romantic. Apparently, I had forgotten she could see all of this. Bro! She kept scrolling. Then she found the worst-looking search of all. How to hide a surprise trip from your spouse. She stared at me. "So there is another woman?" I started laughing. She did not. So I opened the drawer beside the bed. Inside was a folder. Her name was written on it. I handed it to her. She opened it. Inside were hotel reservations, a restaurant booking, 2 train tickets, and a list of every little thing she'd mentioned wanting to do over the last year. She'd casually said she wanted to see the ocean at sunrise. There was a sunrise tour reservation. She'd complained about never having a real vacation. There was a 5-day trip planned. She'd once said she'd always wanted to stay somewhere with a balcony overlooking the water. That was the hotel I'd booked. She looked up at me. "Why didn't you tell me?" I shrugged. "Because then it wouldn't be a surprise." She laughed. Then she started crying. But there was one final search she hadn't seen yet. I opened my browser. The last thing I'd searched that night was, "How do you tell your wife she doesn't have to be strong all the time?" She read it and looked at me and quietly said, "You could have just told me." I nodded. I know. She hugged me, and for the first time in months, she actually let herself cry. We canceled the surprise trip the next morning. Not because we didn't want to go, because she told me she didn't need a vacation. She needed someone to notice she was tired, and apparently, I finally did.